Hi there! It's me, Katie, back. I know this is not my normal time to be streaming, but my kid's schedule likes to keep me on my toes, I guess. My son had a field trip today, and I ended up being a chaperone and the bus driver for the day. So I unfortunately wasn't able to be here at 11, but I wanted to make sure that I got something out today for y'all. If you happened to be waiting to see it or not. So here I am. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. One, this is going to be a shorter video. I know it said I wanted to try and finish it up today, but it's probably not going to happen. I'm hoping to get through the Pokéball with y'all today and get started on assembly before we go. And like I said, it's going to be a shorter video. I'm actually supposed to be at another event at the moment, but like I said, I wanted to get something out. And then also, because again, my kids like to keep me on my toes, I found out that they don't have school on Monday. Yay for Teacher in Service Day that I wasn't aware of. So I obviously won't be here in my office on Monday either. So instead of Monday, I will be streaming on Tuesday the 31st. So we're going to wrap up January, hopefully by wrapping up Charmander here. On the other side of that, if you have the pattern for our dear Charmander here, it says to use felt for the eyes. I've been toying around with that in my head, and I'm kind of... I just don't want to use felt. I like it to be completely yarn. So I'm going to see if over the weekend I can figure out how to create my own eyes in the shape that is called for and be able to show you that as another option. If you like felt, absolutely do felt. It's there right there. Right there. That made sense. It's there in the pattern. It's easy to pull up just to see the instructions for it. It's just cutting out the shapes and gluing them together, really, and then felt pinning them in. I can't say I have experience with that because I've never done that, but it is an option. You can also hot glue it to the project. Also not a huge fan of that personally. I like to make sure it's nice and secure. But again, if you prefer to do it that way, feel free. I won't say anything against it. But I'm gonna do my best to have a yarn option available for you to be able to use, and I'm going to see if I can figure it out myself because I haven't been able to find somebody else who has done it that maybe I could utilize their pattern for and give them credit, of course. So yeah, so there's that. So that's the plan for today. Finish the Pokeball, start assembling. If I can get through all the pieces that I want, we're going to put the head and body together, add the tail, and get the belly on. So we'll have kind of the base shape of Charmander going on, and then we'll work on all of the appendages next time. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and dive right in. Obviously my lights are a little different this time around because I'm not having to shut off stuff because there aren't any coworkers in the building since it's almost 7 o'clock at night. So anyway, so let's get started real quick. Somehow, mysteriously, I have managed to throw away my pattern since the last time I used it, which I think was Wednesday. I don't know how I did it, but I did it nonetheless. So for this particular stream, I am going to be just checking out the pattern online off of the website. So if you see me kind of pausing and doing something, it's because I'm clicking back and forth between screens, and just so I can finish it up. There's not a lot left to do, so I really kind of don't want to print it out again, you know. Alright, so anyway, here we go. So we ended with the white and black part of our Pokeball last time. We're just going to finish off the red part because I remembered to bring my red yarn. It might look orange, but it's not. It's red. So that is what we are going to do first. So I'm going to pull my red yarn. Ooh. I pulled all the pieces out that I needed. Now they're all kind of sticking together. All right, so here we go. We are doing another color change back to the red, of course, off of the black. So this one we ended with 24 stitches. The black ones, it was the 24 single crochets into the back loops. Now this time around we are going to once again slip stitch into the back loops again with the red. As I said in the last time, if you have the pattern, you'll notice that I did it backwards because I didn't have my red yarn. It works out the exact same way, so don't worry. So where in the pattern it says to color change to white, I am actually color changing to red. Okay, so like I said, if you're following along with the pattern, you'll know why it's a little different, because it kind of is, just because I did it this way. So yeah, all right. Sorry, I backpedaled a little bit to get my stitch back. All right, I want to do a color change here. So get myself set up for color change. All right, we're color changing to red. If you followed the pattern and you started with red, that's fine, and you're following exactly what the pattern says, and now you're color changing to white. But I'm using red. All right, so we are going to once again slip stitch around in the back loops only, and this is going to be 24 times. Okay, so back loops only. So that's one. I promise I won't count them all out. 2. I can't grab the back stitch, or back loop rather. 3, and we're just gonna keep going. Sorry, I have to back out, you keep going, because I just realized that I did not grab my black yarn to secure it in, and I would not want that to unravel as I went along my project. That would not be good. Alright, there we go. And I was also, look, see, I'm all messed up. Hopefully y'all aren't as messed up as I am. I said slip stitch, I meant slip stitch. Here I am doing a single crochet. But I fixed it. It's all good. It's all good. I got it. I'm back. Slip stitching around. Go in. Watch me struggle, y'all. This is how it's gonna be apparently this time. That's okay. That's okay. There are times where I am not the back loop only stitch's biggest fan. And when I am sleep deprived, like I currently am, that's one of those times. Okay, I am just going to snip my black yarn because I feel like I've secured it enough that it's not going anywhere. So now I can get rid of it. Okay, now I'm just going to finish going around. So when I went back, I'm telling y'all, don't do this kind of stuff when you're tired like I am. So when I went back to grab my black yarn to secure it in, I failed to secure the tail of my red yarn. So I'm just going to use a needle for that one, because it's just kind of hanging out there, and I'm halfway through this round at the moment, and I certainly don't want to go back again. I'm already struggling enough with this slip stitch. Why, I don't know, because it's not like the slip stitch is very difficult, but woo-wee. On the final few here. One left. All right. First round done. Bear with me for 1 second. I'm going to get my needle out and just quickly thread this in so it's done. I don't have to worry about it as I start to close this off. So take a quick second. Excuse me. Part of that came off in my mouth. There we go. There, that's taken care of. Alright, back to where we were. Alright, now for round 9, because that's what we're up to now, we are going to single crochet around once more in the back loops only. Okay, so this time it's not a slip stitch, we're doing a single crochet, back loops only. Okay, 24 stitches. Because I don't trust myself today, with my brain fog, I'm going to count my stitches real quick. Okay, good. Got 24. I made that first one a little tight. So I'm going to loosen it with my needle real quick. The needle can get in there better than the hook can. A little tip for you if you don't know that. If you have a tight stitch, run one of your fat yarn needles through to loosen up your yarn a bit, and then you should be able to hook into that. Stretch those fibers. I say that and then I can't do it. It usually works. But it is a day for me, so here we go. There's one. This is just not having it. Let me in. The funny faces are starting now. Okay, I don't know what's going on now, y'all. I can get my needle in just fine. It doesn't even struggle at this point. but it still will not let me hook into it, and I don't understand. Push it. Send help. Haha, I got it. Thanks for the help. Okay, of course I do that and I wasn't even connected to my yarn. Oh my gosh, y'all. I am a hot mess, aren't I? I finally get in the hole and now I can't even keep going. Let's try this once more. Maybe I'll get into it this time. Got into it once. Yay! Alright, there we go. Alright, we are single crocheting into the back loop only. All the way around. It's 2, 3, 4. We're going to go all the way to 24. There we go. 9 wasn't liking me. Apparently neither is 10. I'm looking forward to the next one where it's through both loops. Catching up, because I'm sure you're probably already done waiting for me at this point. All right, last few. For me, all right, there we go. Whew. Struggle is real tonight, y'all. Okay, last couple rounds. We're going to close it off now. So round 10, we are going to do 2 single crochets with a decrease 6 times around for a total of 18 stitches. All right, so, and this is in both legs, not just the back loop. All right, so that's 1, 2, and a decrease. That's 1 set. We're going to do that 5 more times. 1, 2, decrease, last time, 1, 2, and decrease. You should have 18 stitches now. Okay. We're around 11. we're going to do 1 single crochet and a decrease 6 times around. We're going to end up with 12 stitches. All right, so 1 and a decrease, that's 1. 1 decrease, that's 2. We're going to do that 4 more times. Last one. Now if you're following, and that was it, we're done there. If you're following along with the pattern, it will ask you to do the next round first, and then stuff it. I'm not a big fan of stuffing into the smaller holes, so I'm going to choose to add my stuffing now. For me, when you have to kind of shape something, it's always better to have more room for your fingers than less room. So let me come back over here. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and add my stuffing. Remember to give it that ball shape rather than a pill shape, because hey, surprise, it's a ball. I'm going to make mine pretty firm. If you don't like yours being too firm, obviously that's your call and your toy and how you would like it to be. Alright, so I still have some space in there to add more, but for the most part it's stuffed and I'm happy, so I'm going to go ahead and do the final round and then finish stuffing. For the final and 12th round of our ball, it's going to be 6 decreases to start to close it up. So 6 decreases for round 12, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then our final 6. Alright, so you should still have a little hole there at the top to add any extra stuffing that you might need, or if you already did this part, then you're probably satisfied. Or rather, if you waited, then you're going to put all your stuffing in. That's actually what I should have said. If you waited until this part, see now my finger doesn't go in there, which is why I don't wait until this last section. Now I gotta use something to stuff it with. Shove it into those final bits. Just a touch more over on this side. All right, there we go. All right, so it's nice and stuffed. Little ball. Right. Now we're going to close it off. So I'm going to leave a bit of a long tail to work with because I find that to be easier. All right. So if you don't know how to close something off in amigurumi, I'm going to show you the quick way. So just pull that through. You are going to put your tail onto your yarn needle, and then basically you are just going to, it's going to be like sewing a little bit. In each stitch, just go under and through, move to the next stitch, and we're going to go under and through all 6 of those stitches around, under and through. You don't need to really pull it tight, just pull it taut against those stitches. We will get to the tightening portion in just a second. So 3, again, under and through, that's 4, get through the last 2, 5, and 6. Okay, so you should have gone through all 6 of those stitches, and then you're just going to, see how I line it up here, right? Pull it tight, and then it'll close that hole up. Closed it. And now you've got a ball. And just finish that off, thread that through, hide the tail a bit before you cut it off. Nice and simple. I always like to do a few passes on mine just to make sure it's nice and secure and not really gonna go anywhere, and then cut it off right against the toy, and there's your Pokéball. Whee! Now for the circle on the front, again, I prefer personally for yarn. So just, crochet a quick circle. It would just be like starting any of these other ones that we've done, all these circles, magic circle of 6, do 1 increase around for 12, and stop. Basically here you go. Remember the foot pad we did in yellow? Do another foot pad in black, and basically that'll get attached there, and then do just the 6 single crochet into the magic circle in white to put into the center, and then you'll have those if you want it in yarn. Otherwise, absolutely follow the pattern and give that detail in felt. Just a little circle, bigger circle in black. And I apologize, that is my phone. That's the people at the event I need to go to calling, wondering where I am. It is not relying on me, I swear. I'm not like holding anybody up. They're just curious. But yeah, so bigger black circle, smaller white circle to give you that detail on your Pokeball. So there we go. All right. That being said, as much as I was hoping to get done today, I don't think I'm going to get that much done today. But at the very least, we're going to get this head on this body. And if that goes quickly enough, we'll put the tail on. But we're going to skip the belly today. Okay? So let me real quick double check that I know what I'm doing. We are sewing the open end of the head to the open end of the body. Okay. So we're using the head tail, this guy, to sew onto. That's fine. Alrighty. So this tail, we are just going to snip, say bye to that long tail, and kind of just tuck in there. if you want to, which I think I'm going to, because again, I like it to be a little more snug, just thread that through your body stuffing and out the back somewhere, just to get that extra bit of security. And if you got it flipped out like that, just snip it off. Alright, so that guy's out. Alright, time to sew this body on. Or I guess technically we're sewing the head on. So, a needle pulling thread. Sorry, I couldn't resist that one. I'm hoping that you have a little experience putting amigurumi together, because this is where you're going to need it. Otherwise, a more detailed video might come in handy for you. But essentially what's going to happen is it's going to be stitch for stitch. So you have however many stitches we ended with. I want to say 24. It might be 30. Forget how many we ended with. However many ended here, it's going to be how many there are on the top of this. They're going to be the same. So what you're going to do is you're going to be aligning those stitches and just threading them together. That's essentially what's going to be happening. Okay? So I am going to start with mine. I'm going to pop mine through the first stitch of the head as my yarn knots itself up, because why not? Why, yarn? Why? Just don't even know why. There it goes. Oh. Okay, and then pick a starting point for your yarn. I'm going to start basically at the first stitch from where we would have left off at. Okay, I'm just going to do this way. So if I am stitching in this way, I'm going under and out towards the inside of my stuffing. Okay, so see how mine's going in towards the stuffing, not away from the stuffing. It's the direction I'm heading. So if I'm going out that way, where's my starting point that I wanted? There it is. Okay, I want to do the same in here and come out the side. So if you see here, I said I'm going to do my best to show it to you. It's probably not going to be great. I don't have an overhead camera. So I went through that same stitch going in towards the middle, not towards the outside. And I'm just going to pull that thread through both of those until it's connected. And then I'm going to do that again to show you as best as I can. I'm going to thread through my second one, my second stitch. And once it's connected, it's a little harder to do at once. Thread through the top, and then once again, come down to the second stitch of the body, thread in towards the center, and come out there. And then each time you do that, you just want to pull that nice and tight, so there's no gap. And once you get a little ways into it, it won't be so weirdly hanging like that. You won't really have to hold it together. If you like pins, I'm not a pin person, but if you like pins, you can certainly pin it together to help it stay together better for you. Like I said, I'm just not that person because, you know, I like to live on the edge and make things as difficult as possible for myself. So we are just going to go around all of these stitches until he is completely secure. And if I could fast forward time for you, I would, but I can't. The beauty of watching this on YouTube is you can. or even watching it later on Twitch, if that's where you're watching. But if you're with me live, you're stuck with me in real time. Sorry about that. I'm admittedly not a great sewer. And if you've watched any of my other ones where I'm having to sew, I've told you that before. My husband is the mender of our family, not myself. But I can get it done when I have to. Had a Beach Boys song go through my head. If it's even the right words, I don't know, because I wasn't a real big Beach Boys fan, personally. But I think it's right. It's like, I get around. Because that's what I feel like I'm doing. Because I'm going around. I think those are the lyrics. But don't come at me if I'm wrong. Feel free to correct me. Just don't come after me. If you're a diehard Beach Boys fan, which I would be really surprised by if you are my age or younger. But, you know, I like being surprised. It's fun that way. If you are fairly younger than I am, which I am 37, I would be surprised if you knew who the Beach Boys were. Because they are definitely not of your time frame. They are more your parents', possibly even your grandparents' generation, depending on your age. I'm one of those generational weirdos that tends to like the older music than what came with my generation to begin with. I'm a bit eclectic when it comes to music as it is. I have my favorites, of course, which if you're interested to know would be country and Christian contemporary are my two main squeezes in that realm. But, look, I'm almost finished up here. I hope you're pretty close too. But for the most part, I will listen to almost any genre, except for those that, in my opinion, isn't really music. If you are not actually singing a song, and you are just speaking a song, or I can't even understand the words that you are supposedly saying because they're gibberish, I don't listen to it. Or if there is an insane amount of cursing and vulgarity. You ain't winning me over with that, sorry. You will not find that on my airwaves. At least not right now. In high school, I've been known to listen to a choice few of those type of songs, which surprised the heck out of my husband. But you know, what fun is it if he knows every single thing about you at all points of your life? Gotta surprise him every now and then. Alright, I am down to just a few stitches. I hope you're with me. Or if you're not, that you're really close. And I think we are going to have enough time to very quickly get the tail on, because it is not as big as the head. And then we are going to wrap it up for today and bring it back on Tuesday. Now I got a completely different song in my head. Okay, this one doesn't want to go in the last stitch, of course, because why would it? Okay, second to last stitch, sorry. One more. And on the bottom side. And that last stitch, if you just want to kind of shoot it through the back. We'll get our securing stitch in. Look at that. That is connected. Woohoo! Alright, so if you put your locking stitch in the back so your guy doesn't go anywhere, I'm going to put it going this direction for me. So basically all that is going on a stitch beside it, threading it through and creating that knot so it doesn't move. Put it in an inconspicuous place at the base of the neck. Pull that tight, and then thread your yarn through to hide the tail and get a little extra security, and they'll never know. One, two, and I like to try and go out the top if possible. Which I can. Yay. Stretch his head back out. I kind of dented him. Sorry, Charmander. I really dented him. He won't come back. Shaping again. Alright, there we go. Alright, and I'm just going to cut that off. Bing! Shape him out a little bit. Rough him up. He doesn't have any eyes. He can't see what you're doing. And there we go. There's our Charmander body and head all together. Whee! Alright, so real quick we're going to run through the tail. And it's going to be the same thing. Sorta. Alright, for tail placement, once again, you need to have it stuffed. Mine is almost stuffed. I got most of it in there, and then for some reason I stopped. Don't know. Shove that last bit in there. Alright. Now, this guy, I'm going to attach to his bum. That's what we're going to do. Attach to his bum. So obviously, point of the snout, flare of the nose area here, that's going to be your center point. So find your center point in the back, and we're going to put that on the back. Let me see, just to make sure, what the pattern says. So the tail to the lower back side of the body. Okay, so it didn't align it with anything in particular. But keep in mind that as you sew this, that this belly piece is going to be attached and wrap around, and is supposed to wrap around all the way to the tip of the tail. Okay? So if you put his tail further up by accident or something like that, then once you go to do this, it is obviously not going to reach. So let that be a good guide for you as well. Okay? His belly is going to start practically at his neck once we assemble him on there. I think it's the second round down of the body piece. And then he's going to stretch back. So that gives you a good idea of where to attach your tail. You line him up here in relation to that belly piece. So you just hold that on there together. You can see where that's going to meet up and so on too. Okay? With me? Got it? All right. Let's get him sewed on real quick. Again, there's no specific round that you need to attach him to. And this one, you're just going to sew right into the body. It's not matching up the stitches like we did before, obviously, because there's not a big open gaping hole at the back side of him. All right? So you're going to just go into the stitches that would most make sense for the positioning of the tail. I'm going to kind of lay him down on the table here. Let me adjust my camera so you can see me working a little bit. There we go. Ignore the mess in the back, please. I know it's not the prettiest background. Sorry about that. Make sure we're good. Oh, I slipped. This might be my exception to wishing I used pins right now, because that would make it a little easier. All right, I'm diving in. Here we go. Another good song. Stephen Curtis Chapman. I'm diving in. I'm diving in. I'm going deep. Do 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 do. Can't sing too much. I'll get in trouble. All right, here we go. Just one stitch in, one stitch out, y'all. That's all it is. There may be times where you need to, go into the same hole just for alignment purposes, and that's okay. It'll be sewn into it, so you won't really be able to tell. Well, not even really able to tell. You won't be able to tell. But we're just sewing around until we get all the way around. Itchy nose. My stuffing's in my way. I won't lie, it's a little difficult with his head attached. But that is the heartache of amigurumi sometimes. Once you start getting all those pieces on, other pieces get in your way when you're sewing other pieces on. Okay. Alright, the first part is now secure, so I can kind of lift him up and hold him with me now because he's not going to fall and flail everywhere. So yay for that. I'm about halfway through. Hopefully you are the same or more, and you're sitting there waiting for me even maybe. We are getting around this guy. And I won't lie, I'm a little excited about adding the flame to his tail. I think that's going to look really cool once it's finished. Because yes, we are adding a flame. Who is Charmander without his flame? He is a flame Pokemon. Or a fire Pokemon. Whichever that is. I think it's fire. I think it's supposed to be fire. Not flame. Not the Fantastic Four. Flame on! Okay. It's getting tighter now. And a little bit more difficult to manipulate, for me at least. But we all know that, you know, things are a little bit more difficult for me for some reason. Whether it's my own fault or what. But that's okay. I own it. I live it. It's mine. Alright, last couple, and we are done with this tail. And done with today's stream. Because I need to get to that event before people come looking for me and not just calling me. And again, nobody's pressing on my being there for it. It is literally a crafting event that we do every month. Did I miss a stitch? Do I have one more? Nope. Okay, good. Alright, I'm going to go in and through so I can get that securing stitch in there. Get my knot. And this will be covered up by the belly piece. So even if your knot is noticeable, it won't be once you get that on there. Alright. Slide that knot down. Alright, it's in. Now to hide the tail. 1, 2, and of course, because I am me, out the center. If it lets me. Nope, not gonna let me, so go beside the center. That's fine too. And snip that off. And we are through for today. He's tailed! He's got a tail. He's got a tail. Alright, and just to see if I did it right and well, I'm gonna put that belly piece on and stretch it out and wrap it up, and look at that. It's a perfect fit. Look. Yay! So next time we will get that belly piece on, we'll attach the hips, we'll attach the arms, we'll attach the legs. Well, I guess the hips are the legs. The hips, and then the feet. Fwing! And we'll get the arms on there, and we'll get the Pokeball on there, and then hopefully I will also have a quick tutorial for you for eyes, and we'll get those on there, and he's gonna be done hopefully on Tuesday, which means on Friday, starting in February. Yeah, I think that kind of works out perfectly, doesn't it? So beginning of February, we'll be able to start our next project, which I think we're going to go ahead and do Eevee this time around. So I will let you know what supplies you would need if you're wanting to do Eevee, so you can prepare for those. or for that, rather. Prepare those for that. There are the words. All right. Well, that about wraps it up here. I hope you guys have an awesome weekend, and I will see you not Monday, but on Tuesday at 11. Have a great weekend. Bye. Oh, as I said bye, I just realized this. Bing! There you go. OneUpCrochet.com. That's where this pattern comes from. I almost forgot it completely. That's where you can get it. It's not my pattern by any means whatsoever, but she does an amazing job with her patterns. These toys are the best ones that I've seen out there personally, and they're free. So very generous of One Up Crochet to share that for free, because it's a lot of work to put that pattern together. So there you go. Have a great night. Bye.